I'm very pleased to be interviewing Todd Juenger, who's Vice President and General Manager, Audience Research and Measurement for TiVo. Thank you so much for your time, Todd.
What a pleasure to be here.
I'd like to start with your background. Can you tell us how you got to where you got to?
I'll do my best. It's always a circuitous route for any of us, I suppose. I never envisioned a plan to get me here. I started out with the best job you can get out of the University of Cincinnati, which was working in Procter & Gamble in brand management. I was in the laundry category. I know a lot about how to get clothes clean. What a wonderful place for anybody to start a career. What a wonderful place for somebody in the media research industry to have spent their formative years. I'd like to think I still have the natural instinct to view the world like a brand manager would, which I think if more researchers did that, the research that we produce would probably be a little bit better. After P&G, I worked my way through business school. I did a consulting gig for a while at McKinsey. Found myself at various media companies in New York, including a longer stint at Prime Media in the early internet years. Wound up at TiVo, really in a strategic planning capacity, and wasn't long before I made the pitch to my boss that in TiVo's future planning, that the data that TiVo has and the insights that we gleaned from it ought to be a big part of TiVo's future. He agreed and pointed back to me and said, why don't you go do that? So that was about 3 years ago, and that brings us to today.
Todd, you had mentioned that brand managers look at things a little differently. Can you explain that?
Well, I can do my best. So at Procter & Gamble, at least, a storied sort of birthplace of brand management, a couple things I think can define that view. The first is, of course, everything starting with the consumer. So you walk in the day at work, you're thinking about how does the consumer think about my product and make decisions, and how is what we're doing going to make things better for our consumers such that they will remain loyal to our product and continue to purchase our brand. The other thing that P&G is famous for, and I think any good brand management company, is its reliance on data. I remember when I was an undergraduate, and a lot of the people who pursued marketing majors, I was actually not one of them, did so because they thought it felt creative and artsy, and it is all those things. But what it really is for good marketing is it's data-based, and it's decisions made on information. I was a quantitative analysis major, which actually was the perfect type of undergraduate curriculum to study to be a brand manager candidate at Procter & Gamble, because every decision was rooted in data. So now what I try and bring to bear from those experiences in a research capacity is really, obviously any research company is a lot about data, but the whole consumer-centric function, and remembering that all that the things that the media is doing and delivering is really for the benefit of the viewers, and by delivering them something that they enjoy creates a great platform for marketers to get their message across. But all the research that we can bring forth to the marketplace had better help brand managers understand how that message is working with their consumers, so that they can use that data, as I did at P&G, to make decisions about where to allocate media money, what marketing messages are working or not working. And always remember that when we're fashioning products and thinking about how our data could be, rather than the inclination that we sometimes slide into a trap of just producing numbers that we think are cool, or sort of that we talk about ourselves among the media community. So I hope that comes through in some of the ways we're trying to exploit the TiVo data.